Hey everyone, how's it going? Today, I am excited to share with you one of the coolest credit cards that I have ever seen, the Delta SkyMiles Reserve Limited Edition 747 design. On April 25th, American Express and Delta announced a sequel to the limited edition 747 Reserve card with a new card design and color scheme. So today, let's do a quick unboxing, take a look at the new card design, and review the Delta SkyMiles Reserve card. Stick around until the end because I'm going to talk about why Delta status has become so easy to obtain in 2024. And if you're thinking about applying for this card, I'll put my referral links down below. Now, let's dive into the star of the show, the limited edition 747 Reserve card. So taking a look at the box, even from the outside, it's clear that Delta and American Express have put a lot of thought into this card and its presentation. Pulling this tab here reveals to us a few of Delta's hub airports, then allows us to open up this one-of-a-kind box. Front and center, we see the new card displayed in all its glory. As the name implies, the physical card is made from the metal of a retired Delta Boeing 747. The card has a nice matte finish and very elegantly lays out the specs of the Boeing 747 it came from. Inside, you'll find a small pamphlet talking about the card and the history of the 747, along with the standard card information envelope. Now, this card was just a replacement card for me, so it didn't come with the additional information that you would normally get when applying for this card on its own. Now, back in 2022, Delta announced the first version of this limited edition card, which was also made from the metal of a retired Delta 747. Comparing the cards side by side, we'll see that both cards are very similar and are really just an inverted version of each other. Now, these are the business versions of the Reserve card. Both cards are much lighter than you might think, especially when compared to the standard Reserve card or even the Platinum card. So let's dive into what this card has to offer. The Reserve card is the top tier card in the Delta SkyMiles lineup. And full disclosure, the Reserve card is my favorite airline co-branded credit card, so I'm a little bit biased. This card and all of the other cards in the lineup just went through a pretty large refresh, which added some really cool features, but also raised the annual fees. On the Reserve card, that annual fee is $650, which is up from $550 previously. The current welcome offer on the personal card is from 60,000 SkyMiles to 90,000 SkyMiles, after spending $5,000 in the first 6 months of card ownership. On the business version of this card, I could only find a 75,000 point offer. I was a bit surprised by this in a couple ways. First, we generally see the business versions of cards offering a little bit higher welcome offers than the personal cards. And second, when the first edition card came out, we got a much larger points bonus as part of the card launch. But we're not exactly seeing that happen here. Perhaps that will come towards the end of the limited edition card run. Now, in terms of perks and benefits on this card, we're going to have access to a lot of Delta specific benefits, which is why many people have said that this card is for the big Delta fans, especially with that annual fee. Let's start off with the point multipliers. You're going to earn 3x back on Delta purchases, then 1x back on everything else. On the business version of this card, you're also going to earn 1.5x back on eligible transit, US shipping, and office supply store purchases. These are certainly not the best multipliers out there, but it might be worth it if you're looking to hit Delta status. But I'll come back to that. Let's move on to the credits that this card offers. Credits are new to this card, and either you love them or you hate them. The first one is a $200 Resi credit for purchases made with Resi restaurants. You'll receive $20 a month to use for this credit. Next up, you're going to receive a $120 rideshare credit in the form of $10 a month. You can use this for any US-based rideshare services, however, it does not work with Uber Eats. You'll also receive a TSA PreCheck or Global Entry credit. And finally, both cards will receive a Delta Stays credit. On the personal card, you'll receive a $200 Delta Stays credit, and on the business version, you'll receive a $250 credit. For me, these credits are not that great. I can make use of the Delta Stays credit, but that's about it. Now, a super important perk for any frequent traveler or high-end travel credit card is lounge access. With the SkyMiles Reserve card, you're going to have unlimited access to the Delta Sky Club until February 1st, 2025. At which point you will be limited to just 15 visits each year. Now that might sound like a huge step down, but a visit does include all lounge access inside of a 24-hour period. Meaning, if you go to a Sky Club at your departing airport, then go to a club at your connecting airport, and finally go to a Sky Club at your arrival airport, that will only count as one visit, not 3. You can earn unlimited access if you spend $75,000 on the card in a calendar year. The Reserve card also gives you 4 one-time guest passes that you can use to bring friends and family with you into the club. You'll also have unlimited access to the American Express Centurion Lounge. The Delta Sky Club and American Express Centurion Lounges are 2 very large lounge networks, which makes the Reserve card a very powerful card in terms of lounge access. Now do note, you will need to be flying on a Delta marked flight to enter either of these lounges using your Reserve card. Another great perk is that the Reserve card offers a benefit called Take Off 15, which gives you a 15% discount when redeeming Delta SkyMiles for a flight. This benefit could save you a lot of points depending on the flight you are booking. You're also going to receive upgrade priority over other medallion members in the same medallion level and fare class, access to the complimentary upgrades list, priority boarding, Hertz President's Circle, first checked bag free, 20% back on in-flight purchases, and a nice range of insurance and protections. Now a big question is, should I spend $650 on an airline credit card with pretty weak multipliers and hard to use credits? Well, that's a fair question. If that was the end of the benefits list, I would say it's not worth it, even with the lounge access. But where the Reserve card turns all of that around is with the next 2 benefits. The first one is the Companion Certificate, which is essentially a buy one get one free ticket for any main cabin, Comfort Plus, or first class seat to anywhere in the lower 48 states, Caribbean, or Central America. So how do we get value from this benefit? Well, the goal would be to find a flight for you and your companion where the fare price is at least $650 or more per ticket to cover the entire annual fee. That way, you aren't leaving any money on the table. Another way to look at this is in 2 different scenarios. Let's say that you plan to take a trip with your companion each year, and your tickets are going to cost at least $650 each. In scenario 1, let's say we don't have the Delta SkyMiles Reserve card, and we pay $1,300 for both tickets. In the end, we would walk away with plane tickets, but that's it. But in scenario 2, let's say that we have the Delta SkyMiles Reserve card. We booked the same flight using our Companion Certificate. This would only cost us $650 for my ticket, but let's also factor in the annual fee, which would make this scenario also cost $1,300. Except we would be gaining all of the perks on the Reserve card, like lounge access, free checked bags, takeoff 15, and more. Now yes, this is a super simplified way to look at this, but I think it's easy to see where we could save a lot of money. For instance, let's say our tickets cost $1,000 each. That would mean a total of $2,000 for scenario 1 and only $1,650 for scenario 2. Now do note that you do need to cover the taxes and fees for the companion ticket, so that will add a little bit more onto it. And finally, the second benefit that I think makes this card super important if you are a Delta fan is the MQD Head Start. With this benefit, you're going to receive 2,500 MQDs that go directly towards your status. MQD stands for Medallion Qualification Dollars and is the metric that Delta uses to determine your status tier. Every dollar spent on a Delta flight will earn you 1 MQD. Now, Silver status, which is Delta's first tier, requires 5,000 MQDs, which means just by holding this card, we're halfway to Silver status. The Reserve card also gives you the option to earn MQDs through card spending. However, it is at a rate of 1 MQD for every $10 spent, which means you would need to spend $25,000 on your Reserve card to earn the additional MQDs required to hit the status tier. But you don't need to do that because the Reserve card is not the only card to offer an MQD head start. The SkyMiles Platinum card, which has an annual fee of $350, also earns 2,500 MQDs each year you keep the card open. So if we held the Reserve card and the Platinum card, we would earn automatic Silver status each year for only $1,000. And that's currently where I'm at, which is why for the time being, I'm keeping both of my Delta cards open. But it doesn't stop there, because you can hold both the personal and business versions of these cards at the same time, which would allow you to earn an automatic Gold status for only $2,000 each year. That's a way easier path to status than both American Airlines or United. Now, this card design is not going to be around forever and has a current end date of June 5th, or as long as supplies last. So if you're thinking about getting this card, don't wait. Make sure to use my referral link if you're thinking about getting this card. It helps me continue making videos like this one. The limited edition 747 Reserve card is one of a kind, or I guess two of a kind. And aside from the cool card design, it has a lot of benefits and perks for Delta fans. Let me know down below if you have this card and if you're going to get the limited edition design. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe and like to see more videos like this one in the future. See you next time.